Hey traders, this is Raul with the live trading session Wednesday, September 27th. So I will record my live trading session and pause the video if I don't expect any action, any moves. But if I see opportunities, I will start the video to make the video not too long. Market opens in about 5 minutes. Until now, no moves, very slow, but that doesn't mean that the market open will not bring movement. So we will see another 5 minutes. Okay, so I saw that my NinjaTrader had a problem and was not updating price, even though my connection was live. So I solved the problem now, and what I mentioned in my video in the pre-market analysis that we could see a break to the frequency line here, and now price is testing this frequency line, and we will see if we can break through and accelerate, or probably we will see a pullback, and I would be interested in a long back to the frequency line or back to the edge on this orange bearish frequency line. If we clearly break this bearish frequency line to the downside, I would be interested in a short, because this means that this is a kind of a forward out of this bearish frequency, and we will probably going to test the bottom bullish frequency line at the same time, probably here the bearish frequency line. So another 2 minutes to market open. Here is the market open. We see that price now managed to break above this frequency line for 1 or 2 bars, and now is breaking back below. Very aggressively we could take this as a short, because the expectation is that we probably are going to pull back here, but this would be very, very aggressive looking at this run. So we will see what will happen here. So price is now definitely trying to push higher into this frequency with the target, this top bullish frequency line here, which is a dashed line because it is not confirmed. So meaning that this line doesn't come from any good price action, but it's based on the fact that these frequency lines are very often equidistant. So it means that this frequency line, I've put it on to the same distance than the other ones, but it is not confirmed, the same as this bottom frequency line is not confirmed. Those two in the middle here, they are confirmed by price action. But let's see now if price can manage to break till the mid of this frequency, which would confirm a break into this frequency line, and I would be interested in a long on a pullback to this frequency line here, with the target to the edge, to the outer band. Let's see what price will give us here. If we now see a very strong pullback below this green frequency line, again back into this frequency, I would probably be interested in a short. Let's see what the market will give us. So price is now starting to get parabolic here, which very often, which we can observe very often at an end of a move. So let's see how far this will go, and let's see how the reaction will be when we come back. So now we had the retest of the frequency line with the first reaction to the upside. Let's see if we get a move higher, or probably we will flirt a little bit with this frequency line before the decision comes, if we go higher or if we get a deeper pullback for now, or even retesting the orange frequency line here. The first attempt to go higher now failed, and we're going back to retest the frequency line, or this edge here. What I usually do in this case is I try to find a very short-term frequency line which represents the frequency of this run, which is here, this yellow line. It starts here with a kind of a break, false break, try to get higher, and here it breaks into this frequency. And now if we break back here, we are out of this frequency and we'll probably then see a deeper pullback. Well, now as soon as we broke out of this frequency, we see that we get a pullback. Let's see if this frequency line now holds, or if we are going to pull back. The next target would be the midband, and if this breaks, we will probably see a retest of the orange frequency line here. So now we kind of a first bar which closed back into this lower part of the frequency, and we will probably see a pullback if we don't snap here from here higher. Here the attempt to go higher from the frequency line, but it looks like the frequency line is holding for now. Price is back below the frequency line, and you see price is having some difficulties to get higher, and I really expect a deeper retrace, a deeper pullback, and I'm getting very interested in a short now. I will wait for another 1 or 2 bars. If price can't make it higher, we will probably see a move down, and even the midband will then not hold. Here's now the test of the midband. What I'm expecting here a deeper pullback of the midbands, and I'm interested in a long back to retest the frequency line here, because I found here another frequency line which shows this a little bit more longer term bullish frequency. I don't have an extended target. I don't expect this edge to break. I will take profits at the frequency line here for probably 1.5 points, and if this breaks now, we will go to the orange frequency line here. I will try to minimize my loss if I see that we are breaking the frequency line to the downside. Let's see how this plays out. So we see that price is pushing down and trying to break this frequency line. Now retest of the edge. There's obviously a lot of pressure to the downside because we didn't get any reaction on the midband, nearly no reaction on this frequency line. We broke through the frequency line, and now I will take the full loss on this probably. So this means that we are probably going lower. I will see if we reach this bearish frequency line here, how the reaction is from here to the upside, and I will be then interested in a short. Let's see if we can manage now to break back into the frequency, which would be very good if we pop now here with a strong bar back into the frequency here, and then probably we can go higher with this frequency line again acting as support. I would be interested then in a target to this frequency line again. but the pressure is very, very strong to the downside, and this bar confirms it, and I will take my loss if I can. There it is. I'm getting my loss of 3 ticks. And now probably going lower to test this frequency line here. Would be 1.5 point. Decision time here. So either we pop back above the yellow line here, going higher, or we'll just continue to the downside with the target here at these crossings of the frequency lines. Well, now as we didn't pop back above the yellow line here, and we are creating these kind of the market where price is kind of stalling in two bars, only moving 2-3 ticks here. I'm interested in a short to the orange frequency line here, which is 1 point, or to the bullish frequency, the green here. Let's see if I get a fill. So here's my fill. I'm not looking for 2 points because I'm expecting a reaction from here and then another opportunity to go short on a pullback. But we should not forget that this is a bullish frequency line, so we might get a reaction here and going higher from here, retesting the bullish frequency line up here. So this is only a trade with a short target. So I now even doubled up my position here, backed it up, stop loss here. Because if price now pops back above this yellow line, we are definitely going then higher. But I'm still expecting that we are going to test these frequency lines below here. So my first trade was 3 ticks loser. And I'm now in a trade which I backed up. Let's see how this plays out. First attempt to go lower to break this edge. So this is for me, this is nothing. It's not an area. It's just price getting here a kind of fight between bulls and bears. But so far price action tells me that we will go and test these frequency lines here, and I have another one, this very short-term frequency line, which is somewhere around here, which matches and gives confluence in this area as a target, and I will look then closely at each single bar and probably take my profit on a reversal bar, or if price begins to stall and to create an edge. That's very nice. So we have the push down, which broke the former edge here, which is not really an edge. And now I'm really looking at each single bar and hoping to get a target filled here at the frequency lines, which is at the same time the outer band, or we might extend, overrun a little bit the outer band here and get an extension to this yellow frequency line. So that's why I'm now have the finger on the trigger and very closely watching each single bar and the reactions on these frequency lines here. Always having my target at the most extension that I'm expecting. So if price pops and pulls back immediately, so that I get a fill on the best price on the extended target. Now kind of a crackle, snap, crackle, and hopefully pop, and then we might get a move back, a pullback, or we might even get price back into this frequency going higher. But for now I'm interested in this target getting filled. I'm quite confident that we will get this. Here's one bar, testing of one, very strong bar. Let's see if we get another tick. So you can see this bar even closed below the frequency line. So now we might see a very strong bar back, and then this would act as support, and I will be then taking my profit on a retest, what I mentioned here. So this is very often the case that we don't break it immediately. This is kind of a false break. It's one bar just, and then popping back immediately. Now let's see if we get another move down, another push down. An attempt. Just give us another tick. Doesn't want to give us the last tick. Getting a little bit of patience. And there it is. So that's was my last tick for the target, and from here we might see a reaction. I'm not interested to hold it to go lower. We might just break through now, but I'm not interested in that one. So let's see if we are now accelerating, and then next target would be somewhere here around this bullish frequency line, which is at the same time this it's not an area, but it's kind of an short-term support where price pulled back and then went higher from here. So you see that price is now having here a little bit of difficulties to break through, even though we have this edge created and then another attempt. We are now not breaking through here what we could expect, seeing this move, getting an extension here. So I'm now closely watching a pullback and if we get a deeper pullback, perhaps taking 1 point, 1.5 point back to retest this area, or depending on how this pullback looks like, if we get a kind of an from here kind of a V shape, really getting back to these levels, I would be interested in going long on a retest back to this frequency line, and then with an extended target up here, retesting this area. But for now, I'm just watching. This definitely looks strong pressure to the downside, as I mentioned already. Here, no reaction on the mid-band, nearly no reaction on the break of the frequency line here. Strong going down. Only a few bars reaction on these frequency lines, so really strong pressure to the downside. Bulls are immediately kind of erased by the bears here. So let's see how far we go before we get a pullback. If we get a pullback, if we go down here in the middle of these both frequency lines and then get a pullback, I would be interested in going short from here to the frequency line here, or we could see even now a break higher. So as I said, on a break higher, I would be interested in going long only if price makes it up to this level here, again erasing this strong move down up to here, and then I will be interested in a long from here. For now it looks really like we are going down. We are just like we had here, we creeped along the outer band, and now we could see the same to the downside, creeping here along the outer band down to this target here. But it's too early to go short now from here. I will continue to watch. I'm up 3 points for now, so that was my first trade, 1.5 point here, and I backed it up with the second trade. As I'm seeing this kind of stalling of the market, I expected price to not pulling back and going lower immediately. It pulled back, so I backed it up here. So now 1.5, and here 2.25 points and my loss, so I'm up 3 points for today.